Hello, I'm Kikoto Mane from Team Get Wreck Robotics, and this is my event report for the January Norwalk Havoc Robot League brand new bot event. As the name implies, this particular event was meant for new bots exclusively, which seemed like a good opportunity for me to build a bot I've been thinking about for a while, also known as K.I.W.F, nicknamed K.I.W.F for short. I've always had the idea for an overhead flamethrower, but this new bot event really seemed like a good excuse to finally put into action. The body of K.I.W.F is made almost entirely out of TPU, and it has some metal forks to defend against vertical spinners. And of course, the weapon is a lighter, a butane torch lighter with a servo attached to the trigger, and the lighter itself is attached to an arm that comes overhead in an attempt to burn the top armor of opponents. For this event, I would also be bringing back Flaky Boy, Serial Killer's mini-bot, to act as a mini-bot for K.I.W.F. K.I.W.F's first ever fight would be against a drum spinner known as Voodoo Child. The drum looked scary, but I noticed that they had a lot of gaps in their top armor, and so I knew that if I could bring the weapon arm overhead, I could easily get in between those gaps and burn all of its important electronics. This was the exact opponent Q was designed to face, and as long as I kept my front point towards them, I was assuming that I could take the victory. Let's see how that went.
There's no safe place. There's no safe place.
Voodoo Child.
Oh, very excited.
Versus K.I.W.F.
K.I.W.F is, of course, Kill It with Fire.
8,
A bot
7,
we've been talking about a little bit
6,
today with Kikoto
5,
Mane.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
So Voodoo Child is being driven by Eric Hansen. It's his first time competing at NHRL. Yeah, he's brand new to this sport. This is brand new to this event, but he has fought in other competitions. And Kikoto, we've seen many times before. This is his almost entirely TPU-bodied Kill It with Fire.
Kill It with Fire is looking to get a pin, I would imagine, and there.
Yeah, the idea is to get the pin and then drop this. Oh, nope, that's not good. That's not good.
It's a horizontal flamethrower
now. It is a horizontal flamethrower, yeah. So the lighter that he bought from Amazon, which he attached a servo motor to it with tape, that is now flopping sideways. And the idea is he activates that servo and it actually pushes the button on the lighter and shoots out a blue jet flame.
And it looks like the connection to the other servo, the one that activates the arm,
yeah,
might have failed there.
Yeah, and not the electrical connection, the like actual connection. The physical connection is no longer there.
Speaking of a physical connection, it looks like the belt is physically disconnected from the drum.
So yeah, all right. Voodoo Child, great name for a bot. Very, I guess you could call it like standard design, you would see here. But yeah, there's no belt on it right now, which means that weapon is not spinning. Kill It with Fire's weapon not spinning. So the only thing you can do at this point is outlast your opponent or show the judges you are being more aggressive, having more control over the momentum of this fight. And think that was a knockout. Yes, we do have a knockout. So that.
Well, that certainly could have gone a lot better. So let's go over what went right, what went wrong in this fight. What went wrong is my driving. I made several driving mistakes. This is my first time driving this robot in a real arena, and so I haven't had a lot of practice with it at this point in time. Something that went right, however, were the forks. Both the metal forks and the TPU forks did a great job of stopping his drum, and so every time we went head-to-head, I was able to win every engagement and get underneath him. At one point in time, he even got stuck on the wall, and I thought that was my perfect opportunity to get in with the overhead flamethrower, but I oversteered and I accidentally freed him, and so I didn't get the attack that I wanted. Speaking of the flamethrower, while it was difficult to see on stream because of the lighting of the arena, the fire was activating and the servo was pressing down on the trigger of the lighter, so I'm happy that actually worked, and I think I got a few very small burns on Voodoo Child, but nothing serious, and unfortunately, as you saw, the arm just fell over. Essentially what happened is that the servo for the arm wasn't mounted correctly and the entire arm simply fell over, and obviously after that the arm wasn't usable. However, I was able to take out his drum spinner by destroying his belt. His belt just came off. I'm not really sure if that was the fire that did that or if it was just a coincidence. Either way, I was on track to win this fight because even without my weapon arm, I could still pin him to the wall. But unfortunately, after I released the pin, one side of drive went down. I think what happened is that it was just a very loose connection, and so one of the wires to the ESC on that side just came off and the bot was done. Even though I had one side of drive working, the weight on the other side that didn't have drive just kept me from moving in place, and so I just couldn't show controlled movement. And even though Voodoo Child was having trouble, they were able to win the fight since they were the last bot moving, and unfortunately, K.I.W.F loses its preliminary match. Now we move on to the main bracket, and K.I.W.F's next fight would be against Luxor, a devastating egg beater that actually won a fight against another top tier bot such as Archangel X, hence why I got a top seed and why I had to fight them as a lower seed since I lost my previous fight. For this fight, I decided that I would drive a little more conservatively. I felt as though I made too many driving mistakes in the last fight, and so for this fight, I had to do everything I could to keep the front point towards that egg beater no matter what. In addition, I made sure to put super glue on the servo mount so that the arm wouldn't come undone again, and I put extra solder on all of the wire connections to make sure there wouldn't be any loose wires once again. This is K.I.W.F's last chance to show what it can do. If it loses this fight, it's out of the tournament, and that's it. Let's see if Kill It With Fire can finally live up to its name.
Fight, robots, fight.
We got
There you go.
Kill It With Fire. Kill It With Fire. I've had so much fun watching.
I really enjoy the name, really enjoy the theme.
The theme. Well, there's a cereal box theme here. Who doesn't love cereal?
We've had a lot of lovely cereal-themed robots here in the last couple of years, which doesn't sound like something I should be able to say, but it's very true.
You know, I asked him why he chose the cereal that he chose. I think it was Frosted Flakes.
I believe it is. Yeah, I can see
Fruit
just
Loops and Apple Jacks.
the eyebrows of Tony the Tiger are staring at me.
If you were to choose a cereal to have on your robot, which one would it be?
Absolutely, Team Cheerios.
What?
Team Cheerios. Yep.
That is a crazy answer.
Yeah, no, it's.
I actually think that's a psychotic answer.
No, I think gold. Like they're always holding gold medals. It's very inspiring.
I still can't believe you just said Cheerios. Out of all
Team Cheerios, not just any Cheerios.
I don't know the difference.
Oh, Team Cheerios is every variety of Cheerio poured into the same box of Cheerio.
What?
It only comes out.
They don't sell that. They sell that?
Only at the Olympics. When the Olympics are on TV, they sell Team Cheerios.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm learning a new
Special
thing.
edition Cheerios.
I had no idea.
You
That's
gotta
a
stock
wild
up.
answer.
Yeah.
I'm fascinating. I have to go home and find Team Cheerios. Frosted Flakes making
You thought I was personally on Team Cheerios.
Yes.
I see where you were coming from.
I
No,
thought you were going for the
am-
yellow box.
No, I'm Team Cheerios.
By the way, I think of Cheerios, I think of babies.
I don't know about that association, but
All little kids, you feed them Cheerios. We gotta tap out on 5. I could talk about cereal for 12 hours, by the way.
has me worried. Folks at home, if I disappear tonight, it's because there's a serial killer in the house.
Oh, zinger. I saw that one coming.
Some aggressive tapping here on Kill It With Fire. Kill It With Fire, not a lot of fire going on.
Kill It With Fire doesn't need the fire.
No, why fire when you can tap? It is showing a tremendous amount of control here. Driving on display and going up against a robot like Luxor that has a very potent weapon on it. There's something to be said for being able to control a match like this.
Luxor, by the way, the black pyramid on the back of the robot represents the hotel in their hometown of Las Vegas.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Uh-oh. About 5 seconds here.
Now you can look at this. This is actually very strategic, and if I was a judge, this would count for a lot with me.
They have him locked. Oh, look at the excitement.
They not only do they lock the weapon once, but they just continue timing it so they lock it over and over and over again. That is showing an effective use.
Right. I just can't. Look at him. He's standing on the chair. He's so cute.
That fight went a lot better, and I'm really happy with how the robot performed this time around. As mentioned before, it was really important that I kept the forks pointed towards him no matter what, as I suspected that his egg beater wouldn't be able to defeat me head on. And I was right. I won basically every head-on engagement. and I just had several opportunities to bring down the Flamethrower, but I could just never get the right spot. I did burn the sides of him slightly, but not too much. However, unfortunately, I did a bad attack and I accidentally mistimed and fired a weapon directly into his egg beater, which broke the lighter, and so I couldn't fire any more flames for the rest of the fight. However, one advantage that K.I.W.F has over other Flamethrower bots is that even without its fire, it can still show it has an active weapon in the form of the arm itself, and it can still act as a really good control bot, and that's exactly what I did. I kept pushing Luxor all around, I kept the front point towards him, and I kept getting some aggressive tapping with the arm, which scored points with the judges. Eventually, at the end, I was able to continuously stop his weapon, which was even better in the eyes of the judges. And happily, I was able to win the judge's decision by unanimous decision. This fight really meant a lot to me, as not only was it K.I.W.F's first ever win for my experimental bot, but it was also my first ever win at Norwalk Havoc Robotic League in general. I competed at 2 other events. This is my first time having an official win, and so that really means a lot to get such an impressive win on this large stage competition. K.I.W.F Fire's next fight would be against a 4-wheel drive vertical spinner known as Mutation. Now, this fight is interesting because Mutation is actually meant to be a prototype of a kit that another builder plans on selling. He gave a bunch of these robots to drivers at the event to just test them out. And what's even funnier is that one of those drivers, the driver of Mutation, is Brian Boxall, also known as the builder of the top tier bot Eruption, a championship winning robot, and he's also the vice president of WPI Combat Robotics, aka the club that I'm a part of. So I'm good friends with him, I know him personally, and so it was going to be really exciting getting a chance to fight one of my closest friends. Like before, the plan would be to keep the front point towards Mutation. I knew I couldn't outdrive Brian, even when he's not driving Eruption. Brian is an amazing driver, and so I knew I had to just turn in place and keep the front point towards him at all costs and decrease the chances of him getting to my sides. Let's see if K.I.W.F Fire can get another win against a top tier driver.
Sure, yeah, the cooling vents suddenly become warming vents.
Robots fight.
Yeah, the opposite of what you want.
Oh, chunks coming off K.I.W.F Fire immediately. K.I.W.F Fire doing its best, and there it is, doing a thing. Now, it does have that lifting arm. This is almost exactly what you would want to use a lifting arm to come back from. The question is, does it have enough strength in that arm? It doesn't. It's going to get an assist from Brett the Brick. Oh, another chunk coming off of K.I.W.F Fire. Mutation doing its absolute best here. Wheels are going missing. We have a tap out. Your winner by tap out.
The winner
Mutation.
is
Oh, excuse me. Voice of God.
Mutation.
You go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Kokoto always having a good time. It doesn't matter if he wins or loses. He is loving every moment of this. Look at the damage and desolation on that bot. All right, so Mutation is from James Wynn. He's fought with Switchback before on BattleBots. He's from Worcester, Mass.
Worcester.
He's a Team WPI.
And just like that, K.I.W.F Fire's first ever event comes to a very violent end. Not much to say here except that I just couldn't match up the Brian Boxall's driving skills. He outdrove me every single time. He got to the sides and he always avoided the front. I could never get a good pin and bring down the overhead Flamethrower, but it wouldn't have mattered because Brian just got to my sides. He got to the back, ripped off the TPU forks, just threw me in the air. I didn't know what was going on, and eventually he just destroyed the bot to the point where it couldn't move anymore. One of the wheels was gone. The servo to the Flamethrower was gone. He almost pierced the Flamethrower, so that could have been a bad explosion if he got a little bit closer. And the bot was just pretty much trash. I don't know what happened to kill the bot, but all I know is that it wasn't good. There just wasn't much to do here. I just got outdriven. Brian was just better in every way, and even without Eruption, he shows why he's one of the top tier builders in the sport right now.
Let's send it up to Chris DeSico. Chris, What's going on upstairs?
It's really been an exciting day here in the pits, and I am with the builder of K.I.W.F, Kokoto Mane. Kokoto, another flaming bot that you've brought. This one 3D printed, really cool. Who's ever seen a vertical attack flamethrower before? First of all, what was the inspiration for this thing?
Oh, honestly, so I've always been a fan of flamethrower bots like Clyde and Mixtape and so on and so on. But I realized that one big issue they had was that they usually shoot fire out frontwards, and if the fire doesn't do anything, then the bot can't do much. So I thought, what if the weapon was reiterated in a different way? What if we put the flamethrower on an arm? And the idea behind that is that a lot of bots' top armor is made out of some kind of plastic like polycarbonate or TPU, which melts easily. And even if it is made out of metal, a lot of time that metal top has holes or slots cut in, and the idea is that the fire could just simply go through that. And best of all, even if the fire doesn't do anything, it can still be a good control bot.
I'm obsessed with this thing. You're so resourceful. Let's get a close look at this thing. This is like a kitchen flambe lighter. Lindsay uses this to make creme brulee at home. And it's activated with like a little servo up here. Where do you even think of something like this?
Well, I do want to say, I got this idea from a video I saw from Seth Saber from Team Just Cause Robotics. About a year ago, he made a video about how to make a flamethrower, and you can just tape a servo to the top of that lighter and just do it for you, essentially. That's where I got the main idea from. I also got the idea to make the bot wide from other WPI bots like Fully Define and Clyde. In fact, the guy from Clyde gave me a lot of advice. He helped print out a TPU. He was a huge help in making this bot work.
I'm absolutely obsessed with K.I.W.F. Are we going to see more iterations of this bot in the future?
Oh, absolutely. This bot will come back. It's shown that it has potential, and if with a few improvements and me being a better driver, I really think it can go far, and I will bring it back.
Thank you so much, Kokoto. This is awesome. We love you here. The chat is obsessed with this bot.
I love all you guys, too.
Oh.
Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kokoto. By the way, a fan favorite all around the board.
And so K.I.W.F finishes its first ever event at 1 and 2. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how it performed. The bot had its issues, but it showed a lot of potential. As for design changes, I might need to make the bot a little bit shorter, make it wider, maybe make a custom flamethrower instead of just having a lighter so that the fire is actually a lot more consistent, and several other design changes. But for a first revision of the bot, it exceeded expectations, and I'm really proud of what it was able to accomplish. However, even ignoring its fights, K.I.W.F was a massive success in terms of popularity. The fans seem to really love the bot, and that's always most important to me. In fact, my favorite moment of the entire event was when a child actually came up to me and he had a sign meant specifically for K.I.W.F. He made his own custom sign, and it was just so well done, and that meant so much to me. It always means a lot when the fans appreciate my robots, and even if the bots never do that well in terms of wins, that's always the best highlight of any event for me, and it just means so much to me. And that's it for my event report for the New Bots event for January Norwalk Havoc 2023. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I really appreciate all the support I've been getting, both at events and on the YouTube channel and everything. Thank you so much to everyone, and I look forward to coming back to the March event, hopefully with upgraded versions of K.I.W.F and Serial Killer, who actually made a cameo in a Rumble at the event, which has already been uploaded as a separate video. So thanks for everything. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I appreciate all of it. Goodbye.